Perspective is everything. I'm not the same entrepreneur I was when I started. I was worried about doing certain things all the time. Like, what if this, we invest this money and this doesn't come to fruition or whatever. And now it's like, we'll make it back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'll, or it's going to work because it has to.
And I think that when you shift your lens, that really helps you to propel through those barriers.
Normally, once you're successful as an entrepreneur, that's like your fourth or fifth try. Like, in general, right?
Yeah. And I know that's hard for a lot of entrepreneurs, especially when you are using your 9 to 5 to pay for your dream and you don't know where that money's going to come from. And to me, it's like you're going to miss out on 100% of the opportunities that you don't take and the things that you don't try. So the only guaranteed failure is not doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So perspective is key in that.
So we are back. And listen, I want to share this with you. Something I've grown to fall in love with is the strength of a woman. Today's special guest, I would just want to talk a little bit about her. I will tell you something that I've admired about her is that she's a mother, she's a wife, she's a CEO of not one company, but 2 companies. She's an investor, and she pours her heart into everything that she does. And so today, you're going to get a lot of great information about Erica G. But before we dive into that, I'm going to toss it over to Cam, and then we'll get right to it.
Hey, what's up, y'all? As you already know, like, love, share, subscribe. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. At the end of the day, we do it for y'all. And if you don't tell us what you want, we'll just do whatever we want. And nobody wants that.
Ladies and gentlemen, unapologetically E. So Erica Grayer, CEO. Welcome to the Ultimate Perspective.
Thank you.
How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank
I
you.
love
Thank
it.
you for having me.
Absolutely. And not only are you all those things, also a motivational speaker. The list just goes on. I do want to start off by asking you, unapologetically E.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where does that come from?
Oh man, it's deep rooted. Just this sheer desire to be me all the time and authentic to myself, and which I think is something that is lost on a lot of people, especially in the space that I navigate in entrepreneurship and business and all those things. I think it's still important to be true to yourself and be who you are, unapologetically. Just it's really just as raw as it sounds. And then also wanting to be that person so that my kids feel comfortable to be that too. I'm raising young Black men who I think more than me often feel the need to conform to certain identities and to be certain things. And I just really want them to be comfortable being themselves.
Yeah. I love that.
Your son also has an amazing name.
Yeah.
One of them. Yes. I wonder which one you're talking about. Yeah.
One of the things that I've grown to learn about you is that you're anchored around a lot of things, but 3 in particular: faith, abundance, and self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And so, can you why is that? Why is that part of your anchor? How did that become part of your foundation?
Not to go into the deep story, but when I was 16, I was on my own. I had my own apartment. I took care of my younger siblings. I was still trying to work and pay rent and graduate high school. I had a plethora of people who just decided one day that they were going to invest in my future and wanted to see me make it, and who did these things very unselfishly and very just like, we're not going to let you give up. Like, we're not going to let you quit. And this is heavy and we know, but we're going to pour into you. And so for me, it's like, there was nothing but God, and someone asked me when I was younger, like, where I saw myself at 21. And my honest to God answer was, I don't see myself making it. And so shortly after that is when, people started to step in. My high school principal, yard duties, teachers, coaches. I played basketball, I ran track, things that I was no longer able to do because I just had too many responsibilities. And I just know that was God. So to me, it's like I have survived 100% of all the days I thought were going to absolutely kill me. And so it's important for me to let people know, like, you have to keep your faith. Like, there is hope on the other side of whatever you're going through. And when I talk to young entrepreneurs or just young people in general, it's very important for me to make them understand, like, okay, there's what's in front of you, right? Like there's this mountain that's in front of you that you can't see over, but just imagine what it looks like on the other side. Like, just imagine it. Because I think if you can allow yourself to just at least imagine it, then you can start to see that for yourself. And so it's, again, just the things that are deep rooted because of my childhood and things that I've been through, and just really wanting to connect people who I know have similar obstacles in front of them, just to that hope.
Yeah. When you're problem solving for yourself, would you say you're more of a person who is like, take a task, break it down? Or are you like, I'm gonna barrel through this shit and I'm gonna get through it?
I'm both, because I'm a Virgo.
Oh.
So, yeah. So it's very precise, right? But also we're barreling through it.
It's a precise barreling through.
It is. Very much so. I don't really see, I hate to say this, and I'm, I'm not telling you, God, to put more on me. Okay?
This shit is easy.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely not. But I just don't see obstacles and failures anymore. I just genuinely don't see it. It's like, you got to just do it. Just do it, just do it. And if it doesn't work out, do something else or do what you were doing better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I just don't see it anymore. So I'm going to push through. And then I'm going to reorganize it completely. You know what I mean? And then push through again.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think there's something to be said with that around, especially as an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
Like, not viewing obstacles, but not looking at obstacles as obstacles, but looking at them as opportunities.
Right.
And I think that when you shift your lens, that really helps you to propel through those barriers.
Perspective is everything. Perspective is L3 perspective.
Yeah.
Perspective is, shout out to L3. But perspective is key in this space, in life and relationships and parenting. I've really had to shift my perspective in parenting, and everything that I thought was real and right. My kids are like, nope. You know what I mean?
I heard you
So
saying that, your sons are like, oh, you treat Cameron so different.
Yeah. And I'm like, of course I do. My perspective
you're like,
about who he's going to become is totally different than it was when I had you at 19 and you at 21 and you at 24. I'm a different person. So I think the same is true for business. I'm not the same entrepreneur I was when I started. I was worried about doing certain things all the time. Like, what if this, we invest this money and this doesn't come to fruition or whatever. And now it's like, we'll make it back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'll, or it's going to work because it has to. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so
no other options.
Yeah. And I know that's hard for a lot of entrepreneurs, especially when you are using your 9 to 5 to pay for your dream and you don't know where that money's going to come from. And to me, it's like, you going to miss out on 100% of the opportunities that you don't take and the things that you don't try. So the only guaranteed failure is not doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So perspective is key in that.
For sure.
What are some of the failures that you've had that have gotten you to this point? Because they say like normally once you're successful as an entrepreneur, that's like your 4th or 5th try. Like in general, right?
Yeah. Like so I started on my own as an entrepreneur in 2014. I started a HOA management firm, which I still own today.
Okay.
And again, failures. I learned so much. Yeah, it's like, but I had some large clients come in, and I wasn't prepared in that I felt like things came so naturally to me that I wasn't as organized as I needed to be. And
You're like, I
my
can do
client
this.
retention, wasn't what it should be. And so, but to me, these things needed to happen. Like I learned.
Yeah.
I almost closed my business down. I went and worked for someone for a period from 2016 to a little bit under 2 years, while still running, my company kind of in the background. And it was kind of like what I needed to be like, no, like you don't want to work for anyone. I don't want to have to explain to anyone why I am 5 minutes late today. I am unemployable. Which means, you know what I mean? So it's like, what did I learn from this that I can come back and apply and redo this? And so again, it's so important that you go through those things. You know what I mean? I was devastated. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to start all over again. Like, ugh. But when I did restart, I restarted with such a different mindset and more organized and just making sure that I had things, processes in place that I knew needed to be in place that I was kind of procrastinating on. So I think maybe that's the biggest. As far as any other failures, I mean, we do things all the time, and it's like, man, we should have did that better. But it's almost like I'm glad that happened, because we would have did 10 jobs like this without learning this lesson, as opposed to the one where we just learned this major lesson. So
you've been in real estate since the inception of being an entrepreneur in some form or fashion.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you beat the odds.
So speaking of, so as a minority and as a woman in a male dominated like industry, so you have 17 years of experience, kind of like in that expertise field.
Yeah.
Like what made you jump from not wanting to tell someone, hey, I'm 5 minutes late, to full blown entrepreneurship, to not be a CEO of one company but two companies?
You know what? I worked for this corporate company. It's a large Bay Area company, and their clients, this is as an HOA manager, and their clients had begun to approach me about, just for one reason or the other, maybe it was a contract issue, maybe it was, whatever, about managing them outside of the company. Right? Which we know is a no-no, right? We know so me wanting to be integral and wanting to make sure the information came from me and not down the line or from the client, or, well, we talked to Erica about managing. I went to the ownership and I was like, hey, FYI, I just want you guys to hear it from me. Like, this is what's happening. I'm not, you know what I mean? That's not where I'm at, but I just, this is what's happening. So to me, it was like an open opportunity for them to meet with the clients. Like, hey, why are you guys unhappy?
Correct.
Right? Like, let's fix this, or what?
Yeah.
We're glad you're happy with Erica, but she works for us. So like, what can we do to fix this? And they took about 2 seconds to think about it before they said, well, that would be a mistake because you don't know enough.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
And I just thought, here I am trying to do the right thing and trying to lead with integrity. And what it taught me is that people who are threatened by you, people who want you to kind of dim down your greatness, will always find a way to do that. Right. And it's on you to break free from that. It's on you to decide that you're not going to allow them to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's really what did it for me. Honestly, I just couldn't see myself continuing any other way. And I knew I had to figure it out.
You start using that phrase, unemployable. That's how I felt while I was leaving the Air Force. I was like, I can't do it. They were like, what are you going to do? Can't not work for no one else.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't. It's same thing. Like, and I was really fortunate because I could really control where I could go because I was a recruiter. So but I was like, I can't imagine now not being in that environment where now I'm like going to an office or I'm checking in on Teams calls or I'm doing all these things. Like, hell, my wife's involved in the business now and I hate reporting to her lightweight. She'd be like, she texted me this morning before, did you finish these things for the team meeting? I was like, hold up, I'm the boss.
It's like me with my husband. Did you do this and do that? I'm like, does it need to get done? He's like, yes. I'm like, well, then it got done.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Don't do that.
I'm right. But I'm making this decision.
Yeah, for sure.
So even speaking of your husband, so you're in business with your husband. right? Like
Mhm.
there are a lot of businesses who on one end already fell, but there are a lot of businesses who are in partnership with family members, let alone their spouse, where there's a decline in relationship and business flaws. As you mentioned before we started recording, you're about to celebrate 20 years
Mhm.
of marriage. By the way, hats off to you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So with that, having a partner in business, your spouse, your, all the things, the person that you make these decisions with, like what is one or two things that have helped you guys remain in sync that could help the next entrepreneur behind you?
So we have our lanes, and I think that's super important. And I said this from the beginning when I was really pushing him to get his general contractor license. It was like, for what I already do, I can always keep you busy. Like it just makes sense for you to do this. And he was like, no, I'm a union guy. And he just really was adamantly against it. And slowly we started doing these entrepreneurial type things where he started to kind of see it for himself. And he was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this. But I knew from the beginning, just like you said, and the failure rate, but usually it's kind of like just trying to find this balance of power, like
Right.
who's in charge. And for me, it's like, I'm in charge of what I'm in charge of.
Mm-hmm.
And you are in charge of what you are in charge of.
Yeah.
And when you need my help to step into that space, then I do. And when I need your help, then you do. But other than that, you stay out of my space.
We
I
good.
stay out of your space.
Yeah.
And that's just the realest way that I can put it. Do we clash? Yeah, all the time, about time frames, about this or that, but I find that if we are in, active communication all the time, like, hey, I'm a little frustrated. This job is taking so long. Like, what's happening? And he was like, I'm a little frustrated too. The guys are whatever. And I'm like, okay, great. I'll get the guys. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
the business side of it. If you need me to crack the whip and be the bad guy, then I'll do that.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
That's just business.
that's just
they
business.
don't-
Yeah, for sure. So as long as, he communicates what he needs and I communicate what I need, it works.
Yeah.
And then two, for any couple, for any business partners, I maintain focus on the end goal. We have an end goal. So it's like, I'm not going to let this small job or this small disagreement distract from the end goal.
Right.
And we both, are pretty adamant about that. It's just, this is, and whatever reminders, whatever, if we do have a disagreement, I might send a real like, hey, remember, this is what we're working towards. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember me? So, so yeah, I mean, it's not like an exact science. It's not perfect. It never will be, but perfection is also not the goal.
For sure.
Really the goal is to do what we do in a way that really supports our long-term goals and builds the legacy that we're seeking to build, and stay focused on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I like it. So you guys have, so you lead two companies, you have a family, you have the community pulling on you, you got all these other things. What does Erica do to remain balanced?
Balance. What is this word you speak of?
Or counterbalance?
How do you spell that? Is that BA? It's funny you asked that. I don't believe balance is achievable with all the things that I do, and I feel like I feel like that's true for most entrepreneurs. We're working all the time. What you see on social media is kind of like the glam of things.
Right.
But yesterday I got off a flight and I was painting. I was helping finish up a job because the clients returned home today. There's no balance. What I do seek to really find is alignment. Alignment with whatever the priority is that day or that week or that month. I think that if we are chasing balance is like this fleeting thing. Like I have learned to stop chasing after things that are running away from me, and balance is one of those things. And I think that we also begin to feel, like not unsuccessful, but like we're failing at whatever if we don't achieve this perfect balance, right?
Yeah.
So I would tell people, get away from that.
Yeah.
Find alignment with what you're doing. Move in a way that it feels true for you. there is on any given day, there is something that should get my attention that is not going to get it. And I'm okay with that. I have already aligned myself with that idea.
For sure.
But tomorrow, tomorrow is your day.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
For
So that's really the best way that I can explain
Gotcha.
that. Yeah.
I think transparency and honesty is like big piece of that, right? Like,
Yeah.
especially like with your circle, like I saw Tim Grover. He was Michael Jordan's trainer. He wrote the book Relentless. Yep. And there's a story in his book that's like the main story of kind of how he talks about entrepreneurship. Is like he was packing up for another trip, and his daughter was just like, "Why do you got to go on another trip?" And he was like, "Well, I got to put food on the table, blah blah." And his daughter was like, "If I eat less, can you stay?" And he's like, "If I was in a fairy tale movie, I would have stopped packing."
Right.
He's like, "But this ain't a fairy tale." And he's
Right.
like, and later down the road, I think as parents, we're always worried like our kids are gonna just remember that we were just workaholics and all this. But he said as he got older, he said something to his daughter, and she's like, "I understand now. Like
Yeah.
now that I'm like, I totally get what you were doing for us." And like, with me with the 5 kids, like I've become very transparent with them. Is sometimes I gotta work on weekends.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm gonna be home late. Sometimes I can't sit down and like watch Marvel with y'all all day. But when I can, I will.
Right.
And when we do things that you truly enjoy as a family, remember that this is why we get to do those things. Because I worked so hard for the last 50 weeks that we can take 2 weeks to go
Right.
this trip or do this or do that. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs, like we're watching the Spider-Man movie and Dr. Strange said to Peter Parker, he was like, you don't have like they rejected you, the school, MIT. He was like, but the problem is your problem because you're too busy trying to leave these 2 lives. You're too busy trying to be Peter Parker and Spider-Man when you just need to bring those lives. And now you're out of alignment.
Mhm.
And so that's why you can't figure this out and you're miserable and all these other things because you just have to align where you are in life. And I think a lot of people are too busy trying to like, nope, I'm going to keep this thing here and I'm going to keep that thing there. And it's like, nah, bro, like
I'm gonna do it all.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
And you just have to be transparent, not only honestly with the people around you, but like yourself.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
1000% with yourself.
Yeah.
It starts there. Because when you are, true to yourself in alignment with yourself, everybody else will kind of fall in alignment around
sure.
you naturally. It's funny that you say that. Just, when we had our older 3 boys, they were all 2 years apart. And
Okay.
they were in, football and they were in basketball and they were, year round sports. And we were traveling and every vacation we took was around their sports
around
and
their
ever,
sports.
and when we look at our life from then till now, it's like, how did we, like, I couldn't even imagine.
Correct.
And I just have the one that, you know what I mean? Like the other ones are grown. I just have and I couldn't even imagine incorporating those things. And now we're coming into an age where we have to figure it out because he wants to do all of those things too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're just going to do it. It's just going to require us to be more organized,
Mhm.
to have set schedules, to, and just to make it work,
Yeah.
just to make it work. So, but I get the same thing with my 7-year-old, you're leaving now, you're leaving me again, and it's hard as a mom
Yeah.
to not be like,
Yeah.
I'm leaving you again, but I make sure he gets his time and,
He gets his time.
He gets his time. He is going to make sure he gets his time.
That time.
Must be a Cameron thing.
It's a Cameron
very
thing.
much a Cameron thing. We gonna get ours.
For sure. Yeah. So, I make sure that when I am giving him his time, it is completely his time,
Yeah.
and that's just the only way to really deal with that. And like you said, and have those open and honest conversations. I don't think that I really learned about true transparency with my kids until Cameron came along. Cause when the other kids were young, it was like protecting them
Right.
from
Yeah,
certain things,
yep.
you know what I mean? And not explaining, we don't have money for this, or, this car got repossessed. Like,
Right.
the bank, we didn't just wake up and it was gone. Like,
Yeah,
no, they
right.
came and got
They
that
came
money.
in
You know what I mean? Like,
it wasn't stolen.
it wasn't stolen, So just because we've all gone through, different things and different, just tiers of life. Right. And so now with Cameron, it's like, which is probably why he thinks he's one of us. He thinks he's a 20-year-old in a
For
7-year-old body for sure.
Yep.
But I'm just very honest. Like, I am not going to be able to spend time with you, for the next couple of days. But on this day and that day, it is all me and you, whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
So, and again, being at peace with that and finding alignment within myself to not feel bad about that, because I'm working for you. This legacy is for you and your brothers and, everybody that you bring us after that. So,
So how did you find that alignment? Because there's a lot of people, whether in business or not, that struggles with finding that alignment.
It's a personal thing. It's really a deeply personal thing. I was tired of beating myself up about not being able to do everything. And the truth of it is that we can't.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't. It's like people always say, how do you do it all? I don't. I don't do it all. What you see is it all being done, but I don't. And I call on, my village, and my father-in-law has been instrumental. My mother-in-law, Cameron loves them, and they just pour into him. They never tell us no. It's been so helpful to, help us to continue to focus on the things that we need to focus on. My husband has been instrumental in allowing me to branch off and do these other things that don't really tie into our business, that probably take me away from our business, but he still wants to support everything that I am outside of our business. So as far as finding alignment, I really have to give that to just this deeply personal thing within me that's like, I'm not perfect. I'm not going to find perfection, and I'm okay with that. And to me, the alignment came from there. Like, it's okay, but also being able to rely on the people around me to, provide that support and, be okay with me being all these things that I want to be.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the progress over perfection. Definitely.
Yeah.
Do you think from your experience, when like married couples, girlfriend, whatever, right? When both people are entrepreneurs or working towards being entrepreneurs, there's more of an alignment than like when one's trying to do it and the other one's a 9-to-5er?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. It's a thing. When I first started my company, I was just telling somebody this story on our women's group trip, and everybody was like, what? But the quick story is, when I first started my company, I walked away from a 6-figure income, and my husband was working for the union. And I felt like he was bringing in good money. Like, this is the time that I could do this. Right. But I walked away from a 6-figure income, and my first client was $600 a month. It was $600 a month. My office rent was $448 a month or something like that. And it was not a good time. It was a hard time for us in our relationship. It was hard because he was like, what are you doing? You know,
we were killing it.
We were killing it. Yeah. Ultimately, obviously he showed up and he supported and it did, and I didn't stay there for long. So maybe that probably made it easier, but it was difficult, you know. And now fast forward to him also being in an entrepreneurial space, and you know, there's some months where we're waiting for these checks to come in from a job we did 2 months ago, or we're, you know what I mean? Like that bank account went from 50K to 50 cents, and and we have to figure it out. And so now he's like, it doesn't hit like it did before. You know what I'm saying? And we were also younger, so that might attribute to it too. But definitely when you are working on a common goal, things shift and they change. And it took me bringing my husband into like a multi-level marketing space. We were selling coffee for a little bit. Yeah.
Mushroom coffee or like
the mushroom coffee, Organo Go. Shout out to Organo Go.
Oh, Organo. Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to them because it brought him around people with different mindsets around business. Multi-level marketing ultimately was not for us. And we didn't, stay in that for very long, but it introduced him to the mindset that I already had, you know what I mean? That was already within me, to where he was like, oh, now I get why you have to do this. Now I get why this is so important to you. So, sometimes it's just as small as that. If you're struggling with that, then you have to find a way to introduce your spouse to the mindset that you're operating in. And then always remember, God didn't give them the vision. Like, you still have to keep going. And sometimes the people closest to you can't support you because they've never actually seen you be successful in this space. And so that's all the more reason why you have to just do it.
Yeah.
I knew that he had to see me do it,
Yeah.
So
That's powerful. Yeah, there's this young entrepreneur that I'm coaching right now that's kind of in that same space, has a girlfriend who is very he's ultra entrepreneur,
yeah.
right? And she's she has a very W-2 mindset, and she's like, I don't get it, like, and he's like, hey, I'm trying to set us up. I'm trying to not just set us up, but I'm trying to, like, I believe in this, like the smiles that I get after I serve my clients and all these things. And, what he's struggling with right now is it's kind of like, what do I do? Do I please my girlfriend, or do I do the thing that I'm passionate about doing? And we were having a discussion about effective communication, right? And just what you said, like, God didn't give her that vision, right? Like he's cast you with that particular vision. And so, but being able to be in alignment with that, like, are you guys both, does she understand the end goal, right? And do you understand her perspective as well? But it's a real challenge. And I told him, I said, hey, just speaking of someone that's been married for, 13 years, if the vision is not clear, it won't work out.
Right.
So.
Is he going to watch this?
Maybe.
Listen. No. You know what?
Media.
Entrepreneurship.
Speak to him. No, I'm just kidding.
Entrepreneurship is 1% of the population.
Mm-hmm.
So the other 99% of the population has been ingrained to believe that there is only one way to do things. There's only one way to make money. So the beginning thought process behind that is it's okay, because this is what has been ingrained in her, and not just her, but our parents. And a parent, like, what y'all doing now? You know what I mean? So we get it too, and I say to anybody dealing with that, keep going. Yeah. Like, oh my God, it's so important that you keep going, but not for them, for yourself. Yep. You have to do it, because what you're going to give her at the end of quitting is a version of you that feels unfulfilled, a version of you that feels resentful because you gave up on this thing that you believed in. So you really don't have a choice but to keep going, because she's not going to like who she gets on the other side of that. Yeah. Right. So, that's important. When I was starting my podcast, Dwayne is my husband. He was like, okay, like, what time do you have to do this? And I'm like, I really want to do it. I really want to do it. This is just, entrepreneurship and mentoring entrepreneurs and speaking to people about being bold and really championing that in people is just important to me. Yeah. I wouldn't be here if someone hadn't done that for me. Right. So I have to do it. And he's like, I'll do it. But it was a very what's this going to cost? And what is this? Just all the normal questions. So again, what you see is not always the whole picture. This is something that we all struggle with in one way, shape, or form. But at the end of the day, I am married to someone who was going to champion my efforts. And so you kind of have to look at that too in relationships. Like, is this someone who is going to, mirror me and champion my efforts, even if they can't see the full vision of what I'm doing. And, I'm sure you guys you got the studio that you're building, and you've got all these other things going on. So I'm sure you know what I mean by that. Everybody really has to be on board. Everybody close to you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Eventually. And I'm not saying that it happens by osmosis immediately, but eventually the people around you really have to be on board. Yeah. That's important too. Yeah.
So you have, you and Dwayne clearly have a very strong mindset, right? And so what is needed in the company to get you guys to your next?
Money.
Gotcha.
No, I'm just kidding. Funding. Yeah, I mean, that's the realest answer I can give. Is our next growth is on the other side of funding. We are currently working on an investment property that we purchased with a partner, and we are working on developing affordable housing on this property. And so, yeah, funding it right now is probably our biggest obstacle. And, maybe to just, staffing is an issue in our industry with everything going on in the world. Staffing has become a huge problem. And so it's been important for me to really just kind of as a CEO to really monitor how we scale things and make sure that we are scaling. Our scaling is in alignment with what we can handle.
Yeah.
So that's been a big thing is, I turn away jobs if I don't feel like, we can handle it in a way that is representative of what I want our brand and our company to look like, which is a hard one for him because he's a yes guy. So, yes, we'll do that. Yes. And I'm like, we're not going to be able to get to that for 8 weeks. And they need it done 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? So no, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And being okay with saying that and doing that and just kind of getting him to, he's a general contractor. He's the work guy. He's the, you put the work in front of me, I'm going to go get it. But all the other stuff behind it that, that's not his lane.
Yeah.
That's me. So that's where that kind of like comes into. I'm like, stop telling people no. Give them, you know what I mean? I mean, stop telling people yes.
Yeah.
Tell them to call me, give them my number. So, I got the schedule. So, yeah.
How are you guys using like new technology to help you be more efficient?
AI has really helped us to be able to get like our bids and things out quicker, which has been a big thing. I do most of our estimations. So, I'm a spreadsheet.
Okay.
That Virgo, everything is in front of you, that spreadsheet. So AI has really helped me to, be able to push things out quicker for sure. And then there's a lot of AI tools too within construction where, you can put plans into a program and it'll give you immediate square footage of flooring, walls, linear footage of baseboard, whatever we're working on or doing. So that has helped. There's a process, a learning curve, right? There's a process in learning all of those systems, and we are not there yet. Maybe I need to bring him in here to Cam and show us how to do this program we spent $5,000 for that we can't use yet.
I got you.
But I'm excited about it though. I was one of those people that when smartphones came out, I was like holding on to my BlackBerry for dear life. You know what I mean? Like that's AAB, AC. You know what I mean? Like when I'm typing something, I was her for sure. Like they laughed about that. So AI to me coming up, it was my son in his second year in college. It was like, Mom, you don't know about ChatGPT. You don't, and when I say second year in college, I mean, this was 2022. So, or 2023. When he was using all these AI tools and kind of telling me I really just didn't know and I really wasn't trying to jump right into it. And now it's everywhere, right? Yeah. Now you have to, or you're going to get left behind. I'm grateful to be in an industry that still needs us to be hands-on, right? There's still, people still value quality workmanship and the relationship behind that. And I think it's scary for, other trades where that's not the case or people don't, necessarily need to be in front of you. So they're building homes with AI now, which is crazy, right? It's crazy. So I got to get on the other side of these things now.
We were just having a conversation right before you came in about as entrepreneurs and business owners and leaders in companies, like if you're not staying ahead of the curve around like AI and specific lanes too, right? Are relevant to your industry, that you're going to get so left behind so far, so fast in the next 12 to 18 months.
Which is crazy. It's like 12 to 16 years.
Right,
no,
right.
12 to 18 months.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, it was a interesting conversation. I think people really don't understand how fast things are moving. Right. And so, one of the things that, I enjoy, especially like on the Wednesday AI Lounge, the business AI Lounge that Cam goes live on, just giving people fundamental principles on how they can use the things and integrate it into their business is so essential in the world of business now.
Yeah, I need to tune into that.
Yeah, every Wednesday 6 p.m.
Send you the link.
Pacific time.
Well, that's like the thing is like I enjoy that stuff. So I'm the guy that got the iPhone the day it came out.
Right.
But it wasn't even on purpose. Like my girlfriend at the time was like, I'm gonna go get this iPhone thing. Like, want me to get one for you? And like you just pay me back. And I was like, okay. And so like I remember going to Japan with the first iPhone and they were like, they thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Like, but like I was fortunate enough that even though I grew up with a single mom, like she was really big about like technology. So always, and like her boyfriend for a long, like 8 years of my life, he worked at a technology school in Berkeley. So like, I've always been very fortunate to be involved in some type of like,
Tech.
information, and so like now I'm like, a lot of people didn't have that experience and
Right.
it's just like overwhelming. Right. So
Yes.
that's why I was like, how do we bring this to people? And a lot of people don't know the people who actually do it.
Right.
Like how many influencers do you guys see, but do you know any of them? And it's like, and I'm not an influencer per se, but you guys have someone who's local, who you're friends with, who who actually is doing these things that you see other people doing on Instagram. And I'm like, instead of like gatekeeping all this stuff, like, why don't I just like show people weekly,
Well, you need to use those AI tools to put it out there like they're doing it on
For
that
sure.
massive scale.
On a massive
right?
scale.
Yeah.
So I built a
'Cause
workbook.
you can't even
last
scroll without seeing it. The AI summits
Yeah.
and the,
All that
all these
stuff.
different things. And
night. Yeah.
and I know I've signed up for a few things and then come the day of, I'm like, I can't sit on this
Yeah,
call for
yeah.
3 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I can't do it.
Well, and that's
Um,
that's where I also think about it is like, I'm actually running a business. Like a lot of the people out there, like they're really good with AI and they give great tools, right? But it's like a lot of them don't actually run businesses.
Well, you know what I find? I'm just maybe a little nugget for you, but I am one of the reasons why I always sign up for these things and I don't actually do them or I try to plug in. I'm a very hands-on person.
Yes.
I'm like if I come in here and I sit down with you and you show me in person, then it's like, okay, got it. Right.
Yeah.
But just having someone speak at you or through these webinars and these, that's if you're already not really inclined that way,
yeah.
Right.
it's a lot more difficult. And it also is instantly overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, maybe having some in-person
Let me ask you this.
things.
Daytime in person, what would you be able to make?
Sundays,
Okay.
any day with notice, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're on top.
Yeah.
Because I've thought that I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to sit down with you. I know Jesus the same way.
Yeah.
Like that's why
Yeah.
I'm like, I try and tell him stuff and I'm like, we'll do it when I see you.
Yeah.
We'll sit down. Because
Yeah.
I know like people try and tell me stuff and half the time I'm like, I gotta, at the bare minimum, I have to see it. But like if you sit with me, I can get it a lot faster. And so like in recognizing that, I'm like, how can we do that locally more? Where like people get to sit down and you may not get one-on-one per se, but like we're all here together and maybe the person next to you is like, oh, click there, but now you're getting, we need to bring that back.
Yeah,
People
for
miss
sure.
that. People miss the like helping each other get better.
Yeah.
No, I get upset with my husband when this will be, where he gets a call about a job and he's trying to fit it into the day. So he'll go and look at the job and then he'll come back and he'll, with the pictures and, and he's like, okay, we have to bid this job. And I'm like, I didn't see it. I
Yeah.
have to go see it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I don't
saying?
wanna-
I
I
have to.
can't account on these pictures.
I can't. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
can't do it. And so, that took a minute for him to learn. So now he calls and he's like, well, you need to make this work 2:00
Mhm.
today. We have this appointment. I'm like, okay, because I have to go see it. It's just
Yeah.
how my brain
Right.
works. But then once I see it, I can tell them how to reconfigure the whole
Right.
space, right? But
Mhm.
as long as I can visualize it. So, and I think a lot of people operate that way. So
Yeah.
that's why I say that. Yeah.
So at the Entrepreneur Experience this
Yes.
weekend,
Yes.
I will be doing a live demonstration.
Mhm.
Oh, good. Good. Well, I will be there.
Yeah.
I will be there.
Speakers unite.
Yes.
Well, I was telling Glenn is like, I think it would be cool because obviously this will air after that, but like it'll be cool because
No, we're gonna drop it.
oh, that's why we're gonna drop
Yeah.
it Friday, even better. So yeah, so it'll be cool because we'll talk about how to kind of figure out what you need, and then I'm gonna do the Food Network thing where it's like,
Okay.
hey, this is how you season the chicken, and
right.
then like, okay, this is what it looks like when it's done. So I'm gonna show like, hey, this is kind of how you get started, but this is what it could turn into
Mhm.
with really like going
Oh.
through the process.
Oh, that'll be
And
good.
like, just if for an example, like I can talk to my Telegram. I don't even have to go into my Claude. I can talk to Telegram like it's just a chat and tell it to do stuff or ask it for a report or tell me what my A&R is for the day
Mhm.
or what are my appointments for the day or what social media post do I have going on today? Oh, can you make sure you approve that post? Like all that stuff.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need that.
And those are, I was just about to
Yeah.
say, those are the things that we realize that a lot of the businesses, especially specifically in this area, right? A lot of smaller to mid-sized businesses, they really, really need those skill sets.
You know what? Content creation, it was like kind of like this cringe thing. Like I would see people making content and I'm like, what are they doing?
Right.
And so now when I'm
look
in
at
there,
you. Now look at you.
I'm like, I'll forget it,
Yeah.
Unapologetically, we finna do this.
Yeah.
So,
I love it, by the way. I think it's
same.
great. I'm like, I tell Terry, I'm like, you guys help me just like be more like imaginative with like the content, right?
And it was Terry. I met Terry and he was like, it doesn't matter if it's perfect. It doesn't matter if you feel silly. Like, matter of fact, if you feel silly doing it, maybe that's probably more the reason why you should do it. And I'm just like, oh my God, I feel so silly. And I have all these things that I haven't posted or whatever. But what I can say is that if people don't see you, then they don't know who you are and they don't know what you do and how you can help them. And it has really helped me, which is kind of like this ironic thing, but it's helped me to help more people.
For sure.
Right? Because now people see me out there and it's like, girl, can I pick your brain? Can I, and I'm like,
becoming
yes,
a mentor.
Yeah. So if you don't, I went from 1,100 followers to like over 10,000
in a year,
in less than a year.
That's
yeah.
great.
So, but again, it's just being vulnerable and being okay with it. Like I had to get out of my own way with that and out of my own head. And you're really worried about who the people around you, what they might think, the people who know you, but they're not the people who are supporting you anyway. You know what I mean? It's strangers, and the right stranger can really catapult your business and really, really help you to grow. So if I was telling anybody about content creation, like, I don't care how uncomfortable it is, like, do it. Because the people around you, those are the ones that are being, kind of nitpicky about what you do, but they're not the ones that are going to grow your business, And I tell my son this all the time. He's worried about, like his clothing brand and putting things out there. And I'm like, it's the strangers.
Right.
It's the people who have never, ever seen your stuff that are like, oh, I need that. And you can't forget that. So, yeah.
So I'm going to ask some lightning round questions, but before I do want to ask you this. So as a parent who's in entrepreneurship and obviously have kids that are interested in that space, what is one tip that you're sharing with your son or sharing with your son or sons around entrepreneurship?
That it's not always gonna look like you want it to look or like how you thought it was going to look, and that's not reason enough to get discouraged. And really the tip that I just gave about putting yourself out there, because you never know who is watching and who is wanting to learn more about you and what you do. I think that when we don't get the response we anticipate from people around us, it's like, oh, maybe this isn't a good idea then. Right. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. And I always caution them against that. Like, they've had so many, but my son, he's with his clothing brand, and one of his close friends, somebody who he values, had purchased a few sweaters or whatever it was. And it was like, you need new designs. You need this. And he's got me and his dad going, the classic design is what drew attention.
Yeah.
The classic design. I mean, do more designs.
Yeah.
But keep pushing out that classic design to people who have never seen it before.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so we just stay as encouraging as we can. But really it's getting away from this idea that this is going to look perfect. And oh my God, this is key. Stop comparing yourself to people on social media and feeling like you're behind or that you need to do things a certain way to be successful based on what you see. Because 9 times out of 10, the success is what you see, but there's so many years and so many, failures, if that's a thing, that have gone into that success. And so comparison is a thief of joy. It is a thief of business. It is a thief of success, really.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Gotcha. You got any other questions before I go into this lightning round? Yep. All right. So with this lightning round, I would like for you, so as I asked the question, whatever is on your heart, respond with that.
Okay, I'm
All
a
right.
little hood.
Hey.
Good with that. No,
Hey.
just kidding. Even better.
Give him a nice letter.
I'll start off with this one. So you have a I'll start off with this one.
Ready.
If you can give every HOA board one piece of advice before they hire anyone, what would it be?
Quit. No. Every HOA board. Gosh, do your research. I think it's really important for HOA boards to understand their own liabilities. A lot of times they hire a management company and they are not really understanding of their own personal liabilities as a board member. So that would probably be the first thing, is make sure you understand with this hire, with what you're delegating, like as a management agent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm indemnified through so many things, because ultimately the decision is the board members. And I think a lot of boards don't understand that. And so when things don't go right, or you direct me to do something that I'm telling you should not be directing me to do, and you don't listen,
Right.
That liability is on you. And so I think it's important for boards to really understand their own personal liabilities in that space.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Next question.
Yeah, are you a board member for HOA?
No.
Oh, okay.
This is a random question. I just knew
Gotcha,
that you were in that
yeah.
space. So second question, would Erica, Dwayne, and Grayer Construction do with a deep dive integration into their business or into your business?
Oh man. We did. You mean like AI, or just
Like I
period?
come in
Just
there and like break everything down.
man. Okay. So we will learn how to use this program that we paid for. Number one. Number two, I really have been interested in learning more about AI assistance and kind of what that looks like, and how that can really help me to get more done and be more efficient. My thing for us is efficiency. The more efficient you are, the more you can do.
Thanks.
And I think a lot of the times businesses feel like they can't take on more, or they can't do more. And really, you just have an efficiency problem. You just haven't learned how to do the things that you're currently doing quicker.
Yeah.
So I do see that as the CEO as one of our issues, is learning how to do things quicker so that we can do more, because there's so much more that we want to do and that we're trying to do, that we are actively seeking out, but instant overwhelm,
For sure,
right?
yeah.
It's like, okay, so we had this meeting and we've got probably 4 meetings a week with our investment partner. And every meeting is like, another meeting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's so crucial and vital that we do that. So that's a big part of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Capacity increase.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Because we are actively increasing our capacity without increasing our ability to take on
Right.
more capacity, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think a lot of businesses that's true of.
All right. Next question.
Okay.
So you're coming up again. Congratulations on your upcoming anniversary. So 20 years of marriage.
Yes.
What's one of the biggest lessons that you've learned in business with your husband?
Learned in business.
Or learned being in business with your husband?
Yeah. To really to respect each other's space, respect each other's ideas. We don't always agree, but hear me out. Let me hear you out. And sometimes that's hard because I'm a Virgo. And I often feel like I already know I'm right. Like I'm right about this, right?
I'm gonna let you say what you want to say.
I'm gonna let you get it out. But also to that end, make sure that you are listening to understand and not just listening to respond. Because how oftentimes if we feel like we're right about something and somebody responds to us, it's like, I'm gonna let you get it out, but I'm not really listening.
Yeah.
So that's been key. And I have to remind him and he has to remind me, like, we're speaking, but you're not actually hearing what I'm saying. So let's try this again. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And last question. There are 3 words: life, love, leadership. Choose one of those words and just speak whatever's on your heart.
Life. Life, because there are so many things designed to throw us off and in life. And that'll throw off your leadership.
Mhm.
You know, it'll throw off your ability to love and to be loved. You know what I mean? To love yourself, right? So, um, understanding that life is going to throw curveballs, life is going to look horrible one day and great the next day, but it is still beautiful. I tell people all the time when certain things happen in our family or in business or just, you know, it's like, oh, you always, you know, stay so positive. And I think even for the people who know me will say this, and that I have a very nonchalant kind of attitude about things, like, oh, it's okay, you know. But to my core, there is a joy about just still being here, living life, right? It's still being here, able to just fight for it another day, you know? And I deal with this like in some of my entrepreneur groups, like some of the women are a lot younger than me. And I'm like, God, I feel so blessed and grateful to be 45 next month. I think it's such a blessing to get older and to be able to learn from your mistakes and not to be older and still be who I was, but to be older and better.
For sure.
And to continue that. So life for sure, because I think, you know, depending on our perspective of life, it will dictate everything else in it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Hey, I appreciate you having me.
This conversation was well overdue, but it was well worth the wait.
Good.
For sure. We'll give you the space. We'll give you the floor if there's anything you want to share, any upcoming projects. I know you mentioned about investors and different things. If you want to share any final thoughts, and then we'll close out the.
Not too much. It's more so kind of like a motivational thing to everyone watching, everyone who needs to hear it, to just keep going. Oh my God. If I had quit when the world told me to quit, if I had, there's so many things that I would have taught my children about what this should look like by me quitting. You know what I mean? Your family is watching, your kids are watching, but most importantly, what we say to ourselves really resonates more than anybody else around us. And so if you tell yourself that you can't do something by default, you just can't. And you're not going to. So just keep going. You know, you can do it.
Yeah. And how can people connect with you? Follow your podcast, all of the good stuff.
So on YouTube, it's Unapologetically Speaking with Erica G. On IG, it's _unapologetically_E or Greer_construction, or Facebook, Erica Lucky Greer.
I love that. So I just want to say on behalf of our entire team, we give you your flowers. Thank you for everything that you're doing. Thank you for everything that you're about to do, and inspiring that next generation of entrepreneurs. As a mother, as a mother, as a wife, all of that.
I gotta be husband some days.
Yeah. Hey, switching the hats off. But yeah, it's
okay now.
It's great to have you on the podcast. Everything that you said goes back to what I kind of started about talking about the strength of a woman. And it is so beautiful and inspiring to see the strength of a woman, especially when you guys have the opportunity to lead from the front. And so thank you, Erica G. And
Appreciate that.
With that being said,
Nailed it.
like, love, subscribe. Don't forget to follow Erica G. All right. Peace.